The idea started small. Travel alone? Me? It seemed impossible. The thought was a seed, a part that yearned for something more. The world felt too small. My life felt too predictable. I needed to shake things up. I needed to find out who I was. The whisper grew louder. Then one day, it was a roar I could no longer ignore. Fear was my constant companion then. What if I got lost? What if I got hurt? What if I was terribly, achingly lonely? These questions circled my mind like vultures. They picked at my courage. They tried to steal my resolve. The world is big, they whispered. You are small. You are not brave enough. You are not strong enough. Stay where it is safe. Stay where it is known. But the roar inside me was louder now. It was a wild thing. I realized that staying put was its own kind of risk. A risk of never truly living, of never truly knowing myself. I wanted to feel the earth beneath my feet in new places. I wanted to hear languages I didn't understand. I wanted to taste foods I'd never tried. I wanted to see if I could. So, I did it. I booked the ticket. Just one. For me. My adventure, my real adventure, was about to begin. Landing in that first foreign city was a shock. A beautiful, chaotic shock. The air smelled different, spices and exhaust fumes and something ancient. The sounds were a symphony I didn't understand. Voices chattered in a musical language. Horns blared, music drifted from open doorways. My senses were on fire. I felt so small, so utterly out of my element. For a moment, panic clawed at my throat. What have I done? I clutched my backpack tighter. It was my only anchor in this swirling sea of newness. I just had to take one step, then another. The first few days were a dance with discomfort. Every small task felt like a mountain. Ordering coffee, asking for directions, trying to decipher a bus schedule. I fumbled with unfamiliar currency, I mispronounced words, I got lost, but each tiny victory was a triumph. Successfully navigating the metro system felt like winning a gold medal. Ordering a meal that actually turned out to be what I thought it was, pure joy. These small wins started to build something inside me, something like confidence, something like resilience. I was learning, I was adapting. Eating alone became a ritual. At first it felt awkward. I imagined everyone was staring, judging the solo woman at the table. Rome. The name itself felt heavy with history. Stepping onto its cobblestone streets was like stepping back in time. The air thrummed with ancient secrets. The Colosseum rose before me, vast and broken, yet still so powerful. I touched the cool, weathered stones that had witnessed gladiators and emperors, centuries of human drama. It was overwhelming, humbling. I walked for hours, letting the city guide me. Around every corner another marvel. Fountains sang, statues watched with silent eyes. The past was alive here. It breathed. The city was a feast for the senses. The scent of baking bread from tiny bakeries, the rich aroma of espresso drifting from cafes, the vibrant colors of fresh produce in the markets. I ate gelato as I wandered, the sweet coldness a perfect counterpoint to the warm sun. I listened to the melodic cadence of Italian, the passionate arguments, the joyful laughter. I got wonderfully lost in the Trastevere district. Its narrow, winding alleyways were a maze of ivy-covered walls and hidden courtyards. Each wrong turn led to a new discovery, a tiny chapel, a beautiful doorway. After the ancient grandeur of Rome, Ireland was a different kind of magic. It was a land of wild, untamed beauty, a land painted in 1,000 shades of green. The air was fresh and clean, tinged with the scent of rain and peat smoke. The coastline was rugged and dramatic. Cliffs plunged into the churning Atlantic. Waves crashed against ancient rocks. It felt elemental, primal. My soul seemed to exhale as soon as I arrived. There was a softness here, a gentle rhythm that soothed something deep within me. The people were the heart of Ireland. Their warmth was immediate, their smiles genuine. I found myself in cozy pubs, a peat fire crackling in the hearth. Traditional music would fill the air, fiddles and flutes and heartfelt voices singing tales of love and loss. Strangers would strike up conversations as if we were old friends. They shared stories. They shared laughter. They shared their history with an open heart. I learned the meaning of crack, that unique Irish blend of fun, conversation, and good company. It was infectious. Section 5, Himalayan heights, breathing in a new sky. Nepal was a world away from anything I had ever known. The moment I stepped off the plane in Kathmandu, I was immersed in a vibrant chaos. The city was a whirlwind of color, sound, and energy, but beyond the bustling streets, the mountains beckoned. The Himalayas, their snow-capped peaks pierced the sky like ancient deities. They were magnificent, intimidating. They promised a different kind of journey, a journey inward as much as upward. I felt a pull towards them, a desire to test my limits, to breathe their thin, pure air. Trekking in the Annapurna region was transformative. Each day was a lesson in simplicity. We walked through small villages. Prayer flags fluttered in the breeze, carrying their silent blessings. The local people, the Gurung and Sherpa, greeted us with warm smiles and namaste. Their lives were hard, yet they possessed a quiet dignity, a deep connection to the land. Children played with simple toys, old women spun wool. The rhythm of life was slow, deliberate. It was a world stripped bare of pretense. It was profoundly beautiful. Section 6, Threads of Connection. Strangers, now friends. Before I started traveling alone, I worried about loneliness. I imagined long, silent days. I feared I wouldn't connect with anyone. The thought of navigating new places without a familiar face was daunting. I was an introvert by nature. Striking up conversations with strangers felt like a monumental task. I packed books, journals, anything to fill the potential void of human interaction. I braced myself for solitude. I expected it to be a constant companion, but the world and the people in it surprised me in the most beautiful ways. It often started with small gestures, a shared smile on a crowded bus, someone offering help when I looked lost with my map, a local patiently explaining a menu item. In a small guest house in Vietnam, an older woman who spoke no English shared her tea with me. We communicated through gestures and smiles, yet a genuine warmth passed between us. On a train in India, a family insisted I share their meal. They asked me about my home. They told me about their lives. Their generosity was overwhelming. Section 7, Shadowlands. When the path grew dim. It wasn't all sunshine and breathtaking views. There were hard days too. Days when loneliness felt like a heavy cloak. Days when fear whispered insidious doubts in my ear. I remember one evening in a quiet town in rural France. It was raining. Everything was closed. I sat in my small hotel room. I felt utterly alone. A wave of homesickness washed over me. So powerful it nearly brought me to tears. I questioned why I was doing this. Why I had chosen this path of solitude and uncertainty. The comfort of the familiar seemed so far away. There were moments of real fear. Getting lost in a sprawling, unfamiliar city as night began to fall. My phone battery dying. No one around who spoke my language. My heart would pound. Panic would rise. Or the time I got mildly ill in a remote village, far from any modern medical facilities. The vulnerability was intense. These were the moments that tested me, that pushed me to my limits. It would have been easy to give up, to retreat, to book the first flight home. The temptation was strong sometimes, very strong. Section 8. The unfurling spirit finding my own North Star. With every challenge faced, with every new experience embraced, something inside me began to shift. It was a subtle unfolding, like a flower slowly opening to the sun. I had spent so much of my life looking outward for validation, for direction, for permission. Solo travel forced me to look inward, to listen to my own voice, to trust my own instincts. I was the one making all the decisions. Where to go, what to do, how to spend my time. This autonomy was terrifying at first. Then, it became incredibly liberating. I discovered I was more capable than I had ever believed. I could navigate complex transport systems in foreign languages. I could bargain in bustling markets, I could hike challenging trails, I could handle solitude, I could make friends with strangers. These weren't grand heroic feats, but they were my victories. Each one added a layer of confidence, a sense of competence. I started to see myself differently, not as someone who was fragile or needed protection, but as someone who was strong, resourceful, adventurous. Section 9, The Journey Home, Carrying the World Within. The day I boarded the plane to go home, I felt a mix of emotions. Sadness that this chapter was ending, gratitude for all that I had experienced, and a quiet excitement for what lay ahead. I was not the same person who had left months before. The world had changed me, or rather, I had changed in the world. I carried with me the memories of ancient stones and emerald hills, the echoes of mountain chants and city symphonies, the warmth of strangers' smiles, the taste of new foods, the lessons learned in moments of fear and joy. Re-entry into my old life was strange at first. The familiar felt almost foreign, the pace seemed different. My priorities had shifted, the things that once seemed so important now held less weight. The anxieties that used to consume me had loosened their grip. I had a new perspective, a broader view of the world and my place in it. The lessons from the road didn't stay on the road, they wove themselves into the fabric of my daily life. I was more patient, more open, more confident, more willing to embrace the unknown. The journey didn't end when I unpacked my suitcase, it continued within me. The courage I found on a lonely trail in Nepal helped me face challenges at work.